Well, I have this pallet that I got, and I've been listening to some of my commenters. Actually, all of them, but the small bits of scrap, you know, like brake pads and stuff like that. I know. I have to demonstrate it. I don't know why. It's kind of hard to do scrapping when you got a million little pieces laying around like that. Gotta bend over and pick everyone all up individually. It's a lot easier to just put them in a barrel. Since I have that machine, just put it on the pallet like that. Like a few people have said, I saved these ones. I didn't have room for them on the truck because, well, I guess I could have crammed them in, but it only was $1 or 50 cents a piece, so they stayed behind. They're a little bit bigger. Maybe I can get more barrels on something like that, especially if I nail them or screw them together, you know, the ones that are loose. So instead of manually lifting so many different things, put them on pallets. Now that I got this on here, I'm like, already I'm starting to think maybe grab one of the bigger ones. But on here, I guess it's looking like I could get probably 4 of these. This has got cans on it, so this isn't going on there like that. So I can get 2. Might be able to get 4 on here. That's what it's looking like. If I can get 4 barrels on there, I'd be happy. You know what? I don't know if I'd leave them intact like that or dump them out. I think if it's a bunch of small stuff, I think maybe it's better if I just leave the stuff in the barrel. These barrels could be for auto cast, and this is just your basic aluminum barrel here. Come on out there. Anything to make the scrap game use less effort and make it more productive. I'm all for those kind of ideas, especially when all I can really count on is me. I mean, sure, I have my kids help me every now and then, but they have their own stuff going on, like most kids do, you know. More aluminum cans. Now separate out my, see, back here and inside there. I want to make it efficient, or as efficient as possible, and keep it from being complete chaos. It's never going to be 100%, but if I can keep it from getting too out of control, I'll be more productive. I'll be a lot happier, less stressed out. I'll be able to find more scrap, like a lot of you guys have said. But yeah, this was an idea that was staring at me in the face and I didn't realize it. So that's, several people have mentioned doing the obvious. Sometimes you just don't know because you're used to looking at it every day. This wheel right here, I found this. I'm gonna keep that because, you know what? The thing about scrapping is you do go through tires. It's just the name of the game. You know, sidewall punctures or whatever. That's usually the end of the tire. Now, aluminum, same thing. It's gonna get Well, obviously we went through that one deal the other day at the scrapyard where they flipped out about the can being in the scrap, so we'll make this barrel. I think we'll make this barrel aluminum. No, we'll make this one aluminum. We'll start with that one first. That's empty. That's empty. These are all stacked together. They're empty. So I got a lot of empty barrels and stuff like that. Really running low on the scrap supply, believe it or not. There's no longer thousands and thousands of dollars worth of scrap. We're down to a lot of like heavy breakdown stuff, which I'm gonna push that off until, you know, until next cold season when it gets cold out again. Because when there's scrap out there in mighty droves, it does not pay to go and tear little things apart and micro scrap when you got refrigerators, water heaters, and everything else out there. I'll be busy clipping cords off of something for 5 or 10 cents, 50 cents, and meanwhile there's, with the scrap prices going up and up, water heaters worth about $15 to $20, right? So it doesn't make a lot of sense to micro scrap. That's more of a wintertime activity, I believe. Okay, when you pull the wire off of that, you're micro scrapping. Yeah, well, that's loading it in the truck. That's a little bit different. Come on, man. You know it and I know it. I already know what's inside here. I mean, I've watched enough of these other channels where they rip that kind of stuff apart. That's not really what I'm about. Because the speed I go at, end up starving to death. Micro scrapping, it's very tedious. Don't got the patience for it. That is not me, man. There's a few other scrappers that they admitted to me that stuff, I'm gonna burn that crap. I don't need the cardboard and all that cluttering up my scrap dreams. You know, I changed my mind about this desk. Might keep that for myself. I don't know. What if that's a smart idea? And these, I think I'm gonna take these home. These things. That's Scraplife. I'll take that home too. I'd love to see if that tool works right there. So yeah, this is, if I build a room in there or an office or whatever, put an air conditioner and stuff in there, I'm gonna put this desk in there. So when I want to get out of the Africa hot sun, you know, blazing in the middle of the summertime, I could do that. This place, woo, this place gets hot, man. Summertime, wow. Hot and humid. And even more so because you got that river right there. And the mosquitoes are unbelievable. Wow. And, you know, especially at night, even during the daytime, wow. It's like they're evolving not to be afraid of the sun or something. You even go into a shadow around back here, and they gang up on you. I clip these two cords, toss that up there. See, I'm a bulk scrapper, so I need to get my micro scrapping stuff way out of the way and out of the picture. Well, eventually, when I get that, stay focused, King. Still have to, you know, I'm one guy, okay? So it takes a long time to get back up and going. See, the reason why I have all this stuff like this is because at one time I was doing great. That was a long time ago. And the past 9 years, under that last president we had, I know a lot of people tell me I'm wrong and all that, but I know I'm right. The economy, man, the economy sucked. It just sort of like dragged along. And now the economy is a little bit stoked. Prices of scrap have gone up, and they've stayed up. These are all good things, man. But what if this guy is only here for... What if he's only here for one term, right? Then what? You know what's going to happen to the economy again, right? All the big money is going to want to go and hide once again, like what happened last time. Not everybody watching this channel is old enough to remember, but that's what happened with the economy last time. Once it was abundantly apparent Obama was going to win, all the big money, I'm talking about the really big money, you know, the billions and billions, it ran for the hills. It disappeared. And the state disappeared for 8 years. Anybody that's been scrapping for the past couple of years remembers that the week Trump won the election, the prices started shooting back up. Around here it was $65 a ton. I'm sure it was a lot less, you know, in the south and out west. It was probably like $20, $25 a ton. And it's been going up ever since. So, I'm a person with a long memory, and I'm not new to this planet. So, we got a couple of good years ahead of us for sure, and if we're really lucky, we've got 5 or 6. So, I keep telling myself that every day to keep me motivated, and not to chill, and not to, you know, take a break and say this is going to be the way it is forever, because all good things come to an end. Because 2007, 2008, man, I was killing it. So, I always held out hope that during those Obama years, the economy would somehow or another turn itself around, and it never did. It never really did. It kind of like got a little better slowly, but it never got stoked. There was no, oh yeah, you know, it was like it was sick in bed with the flu. And every once in a while we'd start feeling a little better, but it never got over the sick. So, this guy made tariffs and stuff like that. That's awesome. Everybody watching this channel, if you want to be honest with yourself, knows what the tariffs have done. They've done nothing but good for the scrap prices. So, I want to pay my house off with the money I make from this. And from that point on, I could take a real laissez-faire attitude, because come hell or high water, I'll have a roof over my head. I had life like that before. The house was paid off. Previous home, condominium that I had a long time ago, when I first got married, I had the thing paid off for like, I don't know, almost a year. Then I was like, oh, we could move, we could buy, we could get, we could do this. And you know what? In the back of my head, I wanted to be really conservative. I'm like, nah, maybe we better not, and we'll just stay here, and we can save even more money and not move, not do anything. Okay, if something gets bad, we have a roof over our head. Even if somebody gets fired from work, won't lose the home. It's all good. But no, we had to go and buy another house and go into debt that way. I paid that sucker off. And then the wife wanted to get a home equity loan, which we got at a ridiculous interest rate. This is during the Clinton years now. Okay, the economy wasn't really that bad, but it's pretty good actually. Wasn't as good as under the Bush years, but damn, it was pretty good, man. Back in the middle of the late 90s, not bad. So, you know, we got a loan on that house, and yeah. Then the local government made me tear the house down because they declared it was a piece of crap. And from that point on, my life has been shitty, up and down. Not entirely shitty, but from that point on, I've never had a place paid off. And that's all I ever wanted. So, yeah, 20-something years ago, my place was paid off. I was like Tucker's age. My God, man, that was like freaking heaven, man. That was like, and just thinking about it, man, it really gets me aggravated. That was like heaven. I could get by, if I wanted to, I could get by on like $150 in a week. Man, any idiot could find $150 in a week. You could fall out of the bed and there's $150. You could walk along the side of the road and find $150 worth of pop cans if you really wanted to. It was like the Garden of Eden almost. The low-hanging fruit. You don't have to do anything, you just pluck. Come on. It's like utopia. You don't even have to hardly try for it. And, nope. Had to tear the house down. And, had to sell it to a developer. Or, my other choice was to leave it a permanently vacant piece of land, because the local government would not let me build another house on it. Because they declared it to be an unbuildable lot, because it didn't meet their town guidelines for dimensions of a standard suburban residential lot, which the house that was there was built before World War II, and all the lots were odd sized. You know, some people had 100-foot lots, other people had 25-foot lots, you know, because the regulations weren't as strict. But as far as I'm concerned, that thing should have been grandfathered in. So I was done wrong. I didn't have money to go and fight it in court. The local government knew that. They took full advantage. And well, here I am today, still picking garbage. Now a whole hell of a lot further along, because you can't stop life, because life doesn't know that you're having those kind of problems. So my option was to stop life, not have children, work on that project of like getting myself reestablished. There's no guarantee. Screw it, man. I'm not gonna put off having kids. What else are we on this earth for? It's to reproduce. It's to have kids and foster the next generation. It's not. There's no other purpose. I know artificially they've made it where, well, you know, over the years, you know, women have rights to work. You know, okay, we're not gonna fight that old battle, because that one's already been fought. Alright, so that one's been declared won. Alright, nothing wrong with that. There should be women in the workforce, but that actually helps the employer and the industries more than it helps the individual, because that guarantees an even bigger supply of able-bodied humans to go to work. So that's a supply and demand thing. So if you have more able-bodied people that are capable of working, the employer has a greater selection, and the price of labor drops. It's that simple. I don't know how I got way off on that tangent from just scrapping, but other than the fact that why I'm doing what I'm still doing. Yep. Just like the animals, their purpose here on the earth is to reproduce and foster the next generation. So, yep. I'm stuck doing this shit still. So, and I have to embrace it, because what other choice do I have? Be aggravated by it? I mean, I'm talking and yapping, but I'm also thinking about, as I'm doing this, like, where am I going to take this scrap load? Because each scrapyard, like the one scrapyard will not take these fire extinguishers. Sorry. But the other one will. Whoa. This might actually be keep life. That stuff makes you cough, man. I don't know what it is. It's like baking soda. I don't know. I do know where I spilled a whole bunch of it in my backyard, where the big pile of it was. It killed the grass. It's been dead for 3 years. But the surrounding area turned super green. Go figure. But anyway, this stuff takes your breath away, or at least it does mine. It makes me cough like a madman if you go breathing a whole bunch. Alright, this one's empty. So, yeah, going back here just to yap about this. This is a great idea from several of my subscribers. Put some barrels on a pallet. You know, fill it up with like the little itty bits, because it doesn't make sense to shove a microwave in there. And no, I'm not going to load microwaves on a pallet and then load it on the truck. That doesn't make sense. That has to go in the truck, you know, bare. Because then I'm carrying a bunch of extra weight. There's dead weight. And I have a... Where's the license plate? Oh, there it is. In the camera. I have a D designation for my license plate, so I have to keep my weight down at 12,000 pounds, or I could get a ticket for being overweight. I could have gone one letter higher, which allows up to 16,000 pounds, but there's a problem. Isn't there always a problem? There's a problem, right? I cannot park that truck on the street and leave it there overnight or whatever, or even put it on my own property in my own driveway, because the local government will say it's too heavy of a truck for my property, and they'll give me a ticket. If it's in the street, I can get a ticket. If I put it on my property, the local government comes. Okay, in the street, the cops can give it a ticket. On my property, the cops can't give it a ticket, but something worse happens. Okay, you get the local government coming by, and they threaten a $750 fine per violation per day. Okay, you'd rather have the cops come by, trust me, than the local government. You don't want them to come by. The cops, I can handle that. You know, $25 ticket. One and done. It's over with. Pay the ticket, move on. The local government comes by, they're going to put a lien on your house, and you have to show up to court, and you have to rectify the situation, and da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God, you don't want to go down that path. That's why I have a warehouse. I've had a couple people go, well, what do you need a warehouse for, King, anyway? Well, if I didn't have the warehouse, I'd have no place to operate from. Okay? Because the local government claims that I'm running a business from my house. Even though I said, oh, it's a hobby. They said, no, it's a business. I said, no economic activities occurring here. I'm not selling anything from my house. And they insisted that it was a business and that I can't do this. So, I have to be in a warehouse. It's either that or live out of the back of my pickup truck all the time, because if I go out and find something, let's say, okay, the scrap yard is closed at 3:30, so let's say I go out in the evening when most of the scrap really is out there. It's in the evening, okay? When people come home, they throw away their washing machines and their vacuum cleaners, and I already checked this thing, it doesn't work, by the way. So they throw away all their stuff, and where's it supposed to go? Okay? Where's the scrap that's on my pickup truck supposed to go? Because I can't take the pickup truck home with the scrap on it. I can't even have anything inside the cab. Can you believe that? I've been told by the government that I cannot have tools inside the cab of my truck. Inside the cab. I cannot have, like let's say I have this jack in there. I cannot have the jack in there. Legally, I cannot have this jack inside the cab of my truck. They consider it a work tool. And I even went to court on that, and the judge ruled in favor of the local government, saying that's a work tool. We feel that's a work tool. You have to remove it from the truck or we're going to impose a fine on you. So you cannot have, you could have a jack that the truck was issued when the thing was manufactured. Can you believe that they got that petty with me? You could have that little scissors jack that comes with most cars, you know, that thing that is made in China or wherever, that can't support my own body weight. You can have one of those. You can't have, believe me, all right, I'm not making this up. You cannot have, I've been told by a judge that he's a judge, he's interpreting the law, and that's the way he sees the law to be interpreted. I was told that by him. Okay. He said that's the way that we see it, is that the jack that was issued by the manufacturer. And I said no. And they said you can't have that in your truck. And I said, why? My other jack, it broke. It doesn't work anymore. The truck's 25 years old. And they said that's not their problem. They consider a hydraulic jack like that, in my case, to be a tool that I'm using for my business. If I wanted a jack, put one of those scissors jacks in there that came from the manufacturer, and I said I don't have one, it broke, and they said, well, you know about junk and scrap, go to the junkyard and get yourself one, and you can have a jack inside your truck. Okay, so the law has been more than handed down to me in the years. Okay, that's why anybody that watches my channel and that has watched Tucker Upper's channel, if you remember his yard by his dad's place had like scrapping and stuff in it, and all of a sudden he got all these letters from the government, you know, the local town, saying he had to clean all that up. Well, it was sort of the same problem what I got, but not quite. His problem, I feel, okay, happened at the same time when he started going out with Sammy, and when he broke up with Molly. So I feel that probably her or her family probably started, I don't know, I mean, I'm just assuming, okay? We could all just assume. They probably started fucking with him. So, yeah, when somebody gets a hard on for you, man, that's really impossible to fight. Because that's how petty they'll bring stuff down to. Was the jack originally equipment with that vehicle? A couple people said to keep this, and the doors don't open on it very well. So I was going to keep it. I sprayed some WD-40 stuff in there, and I don't know, it's got like ball bearing rollers on there, and some of the ball bearings have fallen out. So even though it looks good, you know, it's broke. So I had my hopes up that could be like a flea market thing, but there'll be more. Okay, I'm sure this is getting kind of boring watching me or listening to me yap and do this stuff. I'm gonna put all that up here, continue filling it. I'm gonna make another yapping and scrapping video, because there's always so much to look at, do, talk about as I try and progress forward here at my scrap kingdom here. It's a daily struggle to push on and push forward and try and live the dream. And as I explained to you a little earlier, what my dream is. My dream is to get the house paid off. Okay? Then I could really, man, I could do stuff with my kids. They're getting older. I don't want them to be so older, like, yeah, we have our own family now. Then I'll miss the boat, right? Then I'll have to start another family. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, really. I mean, I like kids. I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having more. Some people don't like kids. I love kids. That's what we're here for. That's all I'm about. I'm never going to be a millionaire. And you know what? At this point in life, I don't care. There's more to life than that anyway. Hey, if I became a millionaire through my very hard work, I think I deserve it. But if I don't become one, oh well. Because when you think about it, all this stuff is just dust anyway, right? If you... I of all people should know that. This could be ground up into nothing and turned into the dust of the earth. Matter of fact, they just discovered a new bacteria that actually mutated in a landfill. And this particular bacteria eats the plastic that water bottles are made out of. So of course, people being people can't leave stuff like that alone, and they were tinkering with it, the bacteria, in the lab, and it mutated further or whatever, and it became a superbug. And not only does it dissolves a couple of different kinds of plastic now, which actually I think is dangerous, actually, because a lot of things are made out of plastic and they're in service, and if the bacteria becomes widespread, think about surgeries and stuff like that use plastic, right? Your life could be in jeopardy because of some plastic eating bacteria that somehow or another mutated. See, things made on this earth, it's all from this earth, and it's always been part of the ecosystem. Even though human hands have changed its shape and form, it's still part of the ecosystem. And even though people call it pollution, it really isn't, because Mother Nature's got control over it anyway. And to try and push it along, or create biological things that could help speed the process along, is actually more detrimental to us as humans, I think. That's my claim. People, it's just thinking out of the box instead of listening to all the liberal environmental people that are, oh, the planet's now. Come on, man. When something is made, even before it's made, okay, it is part of the ecosystem. It becomes part of the ecosystem. Think of all the animals that have actually adapted to our existence. There's animals that have adapted so well to urban environments that they do not really live in wide open country. Okay? Mice do. Mice live anywhere, but there are certain kinds of mice that are very adept at living with humans. There are many animals that actually have evolved around humans, and we kind of evolved around them. Like dogs. Dogs have totally evolved around humans. And cats, actually, they're like half wild and half domesticated. They've actually kind of evolved around humans. Not as much, but that's my opinion, okay? My opinion based in fact. And I don't know how I got so far off the subject. I had to go back to the original thing right here to keep myself grounded, because my commenter said you should use some of these pallets and put the small stuff in some barrels, okay? And I think it's a nifty idea that was staring me in the face and never really quite thought about it. There you go. I'm hitting my reset button there so I don't get too far afield, right? Talking about other YouTubers, talking about bacteria. I mean, who is this guy? I don't know, wasn't me. The other thing that kills me is when people go, "You're a very intelligent man." Well, you know what? The employer, okay, whoever that may be out there, right, doesn't really want that kind of intelligence, because it doesn't play well in a work environment. Because somebody like me is, I don't know, a nonconformist, some people say. Whatever you want to claim, I don't work well in those kind of work settings with other people. Oh, you're antisocial. No, not at all. I'm just not a guy that works well with my son finally got a job. He works at that truck stop, and he's relating to me